So America's big national security plan, it's all about one thing, right? Competing with China. But what if the whole strategy is missing the one thing that matters most? Today, we're going to dig into the argument that the US might be looking right past the real centerpiece of power in the 21st century, artificial intelligence.
I mean, think about it. In a rivalry this big, what happens if you show up to the fight, but you're on the wrong battlefield entirely? The US has a game plan for sure, but there's a real question about whether it's focused on what truly counts.
Okay, so let's dig into the actual document we're talking about. This is the U.S. National Security Strategy, or NSS, and its main job, stated right up front, is to manage the long-term competition with China. And look, the strategy is super clear on this. It calls out China by name as the main challenge, the rival that the U.S. has to outcompete. But when you start searching for artificial intelligence in the text, things get, well, a little less direct. It's mentioned, yeah, but it's always treated like a background character, never the star of the show. And this, right here, gets to the heart of the problem. The official U.S. strategy seems to see AI as a powerful tool, something you add on to your existing strengths, like your economy or your military. But the argument we're looking at today says, nope, that's totally backward. The idea is that AI isn't some fancy new hammer you pick up. It's the foundation everything else is being built on.
And you can see this disconnect play out in a few key areas. First up, the governance game. This is the global fight over who gets to write the rules for how AI works.
So the U.S. strategy is pretty blunt about this. It says American tech standards have to drive the world forward. And that phrase right there turns something that sounds kind of boring, like technical standards, into a huge geopolitical fight. Because whichever country writes the rules of the road gets a massive, long-lasting advantage.
Okay, but here's the catch. China has been playing the long game here for years, and they're very methodical. Step one, they get their people and their companies deep inside all those international groups that write the rules. Step two, they go out and build the digital infrastructure, especially in developing countries, that runs on their technology. And then step three is easy. Their way of doing things just becomes the default. It's a slow, quiet strategy, but man, is it effective.
But hey, writing the rules is one thing. You've also got to have the juice to actually run this AI revolution. And I mean that literally. We're talking about energy. And the U.S. strategy totally gets this, at least on the surface. It makes a very direct connection, arguing that American energy dominance is key to leading in tech like AI. The logic is simple, right? These giant AI models are incredibly thirsty for electricity. You need massive data centers. No power, no AI edge. But here's what's so important to understand. Energy, as critical as it is just one piece of the puzzle. It's one layer in what you could call the entire AI stack. You also need the chips, the data, the smart people, and the rules. China isn't just focused on one of these. It's playing the game on every single one of these levels, all at once.
So where is this competition for the full AI stack actually happening? Well, one of the hottest spots right now is the Middle East. It's quickly becoming a key battleground for AI influence.
The American vision, on paper, sounds great. You take the huge energy reserves and capital from the Gulf states, you pair it with top-tier American tech, and boom, you create new global AI hubs. But when you look at what's actually happening on the ground, it's a bit messier. These Gulf countries are being practical. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket. They're hedging. And China is right there, a huge partner helping them build out their digital infrastructure. They're working with everybody.
Okay, let's switch gears from money and infrastructure to the military. How does the U.S. strategy think about AI's role in the future of war? Because this is where the two different ways of seeing AI become crystal clear.
If you read the U.S. strategy, AI is kind of thrown into a bucket list with a bunch of other emerging tech, things like quantum computing and biotech. It's seen as another tool for the toolbox, an important one, an upgrade for sure, but not something that changes the entire game.
Now contrast that with this idea from China's military thinkers, intelligentized warfare. This isn't just about making smarter weapons. It's a whole new phase of conflict where AI reshapes everything, from command and control to logistics and targeting. It's a vision where decisions happen at machine speed. We're talking about a totally different philosophy of what AI means for war.
All right, so let's pull all of this together. This really gets to the core risk here. The huge difference between seeing AI as just another tool versus seeing it as the new operating system for national power.
The unspoken assumption in the American strategy seems to be something like this. Hey, if we get our industry right, if we control the energy, and if we keep our alliances strong, then of course we'll lead in AI. It's treated like a byproduct of our other strengths, not the source of them. And this quote from the source material just nails it. The conversation is over about if AI matters. That's settled. The real fight now is about who can weave AI into the very fabric of national power most effectively. And that's exactly what we mean when we say operating system. Think about it. AI isn't just an app you decide to run. It's the underlying system that connects your economy, your military, and your global influence, making all of them run faster, smarter, and better. It's the base layer.
Which leaves us with one really big question. Because the real danger here isn't just about falling behind on a piece of tech. It's about missing a fundamental change in the rules of the game, a shift in how power itself works. So the question we have to ask is, who's going to master this new operating system of power first?